RNC, the road to Cleveland starts right now.
The Republican National Convention is Cleveland's chance to shine in the national spotlight.
50,000 people are coming to town, and they're expected to infuse up to $250 million into our economy. With that many people here for such an important event, safety is, of course, top of mind.
Cleveland's getting $50 million for security during the RNC, but exactly how is that money being spent? 5 on your side, Chief Investigator Ron Regan uncovered millions in wasted tax dollars spent at past conventions. And when he started asking questions here, he had huge trouble getting answers.
Protests at conventions 4 years ago are expected again when the RNC comes to Cleveland. That's why the Justice Department's giving Cleveland $50 million for security. So we wondered,
I'm going to introduce
who's watching over all that cash?
Can you make a brief comment?
Instead, the city denied an interview and refused to release details.
You denied us access. Why?
That's the mayor's chief spokesperson, and no one speaks to the media without approval. You'll hear from him in a moment. But first, why would Cleveland officials fight to keep key information from the public?
The public has no idea where this $50 million is going.
Jacqueline Green is with the National Lawyers Guild that's alarmed over how that money could be spent. So we investigated similar spending 4 years ago at conventions in Charlotte and Tampa. We found millions of wasted tax dollars. These Justice Department audits raised serious questions about everything from vehicles to overtime.
We questioned a number of those purchases.
Michael Horowitz is the DOJ's Inspector General.
Taxpayers have a right to know that the money was actually used for the purpose of the convention and not simply to add vehicles or pay personnel for other functions that the city performs every day.
For example, in Tampa, this expensive SUV was bought with taxpayer dollars, all under the guise of security spending.
When we showed up, it turned out was being driven by the mayor, personally.
And in Charlotte, more than $53,000 for 2 more SUVs.
We're watching very carefully to make sure there really is that need for the convention purposes for all of these vehicles. And that was one of the things that concerned us.
Plus, more than $100,000 in both cities for overtime and fringe benefits that could not be documented.
You're going to take that as your baseline.
Cleveland Councilman Matt Zone chairs the committee overseeing public safety spending. The mayor of Tampa wound up with an SUV.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing that concerns you?
Yeah, that does. I mean, that's just a fraudulent waste of taxpayers' dollars.
So what policies and procedures are in place to ensure Cleveland's $50 million isn't wasted? Remember the mayor's spokesperson? Here's what we got. A 2-line email. Thanks for reaching out. For now, we're going to hold on this request. No interview, no explanation.
I asked you to set up an interview. Why did you not set it up?
when you
Why?
called me.
Answer the question. Why?
I didn't.
You did. You said we'll pass on this.
I did say
Why?
that. I said that because you already had the interview
No.
with Ed Eckert.
That's not true. So we broke the rules and went straight to the source. We tracked down Assistant Public Safety Director Ed Eckert 6 full days after Williams denied our request.
Do you have policies and procedures in place to make sure that $50 million is not misspent?
Yeah, absolutely.
Surprisingly, Eckert's more than happy to talk about how that $50 million will be safeguarded.
We are purchasing an inventory system that will allow us to tag this stuff from not the time we receive it, but actually the time we order it, through the time we receive it, who it gets issued to, for what reason, under what circumstances.
Eckert even detailed the plan in a public safety meeting looking into RNC security. Meanwhile, the mayor's office refuses to explain why it denied our initial request for information. Information the public has a right to know.
Do you agree with that? Do you support that?
Well, look, my media person is my media person. He deals with media.
He represents your office.
And if he has made a decision, there must be a reason for that.